Like we always do at this time, I go for mine, I got to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky. I go for mine, I got to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky.
Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy, Hip Hop Gamer. Infamous 2, son, is gangster. That's it. And the first thing I gotta say is that I got my man Greg right here. He's wearing a shirt that I wish I had. Like, you know what I'm saying? But listen, Infamous 2, the first thing that like really blew my mind looking at this game is all the destruction. It's like I saw you like knock out pillars, the buildings came down, and there was no texture popping or anything. And there's some areas in the game where it like the camera slow up and you see the explosions in the back. I mean, it is just phenomenal. So from a technical standpoint, what's some of the things that you guys like did to add more to the engine because it's so much more polished this time?
Well, Sucker Punch went in for Infamous 2, went in from the ground up with their engine, building the game back for more immersion and destructibility in the city, as you saw with knocking the verandas out with a giant tornado, just like rips everything apart, people, cars, everything just goes flying, making it really dope. And like that was the kind of focus we wanted to make the city more interactive, more feeling like it was a living, breathing city. I mean, there was a bit of that in Empire City, but we wanted to take it up, like with everything else in Infamous 2, several notches this go around.
Now, in terms of the story, how are you guys going to continue the story? Because you know in Infamous 1, you had the good route and the bad route, and there's a lot of decisions that you had to make and things like that. Like, I mean, hopefully I'm not spoiling this for the Infamous 1 players that didn't get a chance to play it or whatever, but the part where you got to choose between your girl and the rest of the people that got to live, it's like, you know, you make these crazy decisions that change the outcome of the game. So how is the story continuing in Infamous 2 right now?
So the story in Infamous 2 picks up after the ending, also spoiler alert, where you get it, where you kind of tease that you're going to have to confront this guy, this kind of big monstrosity of a guy that just wrecked havoc across the earth. Yeah. Well, you meet him at the beginning of the game, and he kicks your ass.
Oh,
like, just beats you down.
Oh, no doubt.
I can give you that. Now, that leads Cole to going to New Marais for reasons that I can't get into.
Okay.
Now, to answer the second part of your question about how will the morality play into it, it's there. You are going to have choices to make, but that's about where I have to leave it for right now.
Okay.
I got to keep something. You got to come back and talk to me again.
Yeah,
so
no problem. Well, I'm loving it so far. Now, like that part right there where everything just like freezed up and it was like a big explosion and stuff like that. Like to me, you know, competition makes for better games. And one of my favorite games besides God of War is Uncharted. And one of the reasons why is because of the cinematics. It's real incredible because they're in-game cinematics. It happens, you know, in real time. I see that in here. So in terms of like throughout the whole game, what's some of the, in your opinion, what's the big like experience that fans can like expect from Infamous 2 in terms of quality over Infamous 1?
Probably the biggest thing in terms of the big leap, the big kind of change. Like you made mention of Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2, you kind of really got into the story of Nathan Drake, and you kind of, it went from being, it really became, you were playing an action movie. I think the point, I think for Infamous, it's, you know, Infamous 1 was Cole's coming of age. This is where Infamous 2 is kind of where he becomes a superhero. Everything is more pumped up. Everything's like, you are the electrical superhero. You know, you became it toward the end of the game, but we're not going to, you know, take you down a notch to rebuild you. You're going to build up on top of all that. From getting throwing an electric vortex, having a new melee weapon where you can grab people around the, it's a giant tuning fork called the amp. My personal favorite with that, we kind of grabs them with the fork around the neck, picks them up, spins them around like a bolo, and slams them to the ground.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, I can imagine the animation on that move. Like that.
Bam.
Yo, you know what? Just for doing that, I have to present you with something, because the next question I got for you is gangster, but I got to present you with something first. So, this is Greg, and I want to give him the championship title because he deserves it. Infamous 2 is going to be the next big hit for Sony. All right, we got to do it, man.
We got the belt.
We got the belt, man.
The spinner belt.
Yo, you already know what it is, man. You got to give it a spin, man. You got to give it a spin. Yeah, hip hop gamer. Now, check this out, right? One of the things that I just confirmed was the Move support, PlayStation Move support. How do you guys utilizing PlayStation Move in such a hardcore game like this?
Well, actually, we haven't really talked about whether PlayStation Move is going to be supported on this or not. I don't know who mentioned that, but as of right now, we're not saying whether we are or not supporting it.
All right, well, I want it. I want it because I think it'll be cool because
like, if you look at the superpowers they got, how you could, you know, throw grenades and order electricity, if you had, like, a move controller where you could like that, I think that would be, like, very intuitive considering the 1-to-1 ratio that PlayStation Move provides. Is that something that you guys, you know, thought about or will look into for this game?
I mean, I think we've looked at everything on the table. I think, you know, Move 3D, everything that you could think of we're looking at.
Okay.
What we're going to go with isn't something we're going to cover. Again, coming with the, we got to save something for later on the road. But, you know, we're not saying whether we are or we aren't. That's something we'll talk about down the road.
Okay. Now, to me, like, looking at this game, it's big open world, like, and one of the things that's most impressive is, like, from a technical standpoint, how, like I said, I don't see no texture popping, everything's blowing up, and, like, the physics in this game, the lighting, you guys nailed it, man. It's on another level. I would love to see, like, more of this. So, will we see, like, a multiplayer component to Infamous 2? Yo, trust me, it'll be dope. Like, it'll be so crazy. And that's also a way where you could possibly introduce new characters, you know, fighting against these people. I think it'll be great. Is that something that's, like, possibly in the future, maybe even DLC?
Same kind of thing with the Move and everything else. It's something we're going to, you know, what we are and aren't going to do, we're going to talk about down the road on those fronts.
Okay.
You know,
I'm trying.
Whatever we got up our sleeve, we're gonna keep up our sleeve for a little bit longer. So.
All right, cool. Like, but I know it's gonna be dope. Yeah, I tried. You know what I'm saying? So now let me ask you this. Like, the overall franchise, like, of Infamous and stuff like that. Like, I always like to ask, like, developers this, but what was the inspiration behind the overall franchise? Because to me, like, the way this game turned out, at first, a lot of people was kind of unsure if it would even be a hit. And now it's becoming a phenomenon, and Infamous 2, I know, is going to go to the next level. So what was actually the inspiration behind you guys bringing this to the table?
So last night, the Sucker Punch guys, Chris Zimmerman, Darren Bridges, and I forget the other guy's last name, but Ed, some of the key folks in creating the first Infamous, like, on a creative level, they were all, they ran a panel and it kind of showed the work in progress of Infamous from beginning to end. And the real, so you may want to look up the coverage on that, but the big point there, the biggest takeaway from that is what they were trying to do from Infamous is create a modern day superhero, something that wasn't Men in Tights, that kind of felt like it was very grounded in the world. You know, I mean, a good analogy is Heroes before it started sucking, I guess.
Yeah, oh wow. Yo, you know what? That was a good analogy right there. That was a good analogy. Now, one thing about, like, this game, since there's so much destruction, everybody is, you know, looking forward to the weapons and the way you utilize your electricity and things like that. So, what's, like, we saw the big tornado move, how you knocked the helicopter out, like, things like that is crazy. Is there, like, a level up system to Infamous 2 where we're going to see even bigger moves than that?
Kind of one of those things I can't get into, but I know I'm killing you right now. But
killing me right now, man. I'm trying for y'all. I'm trying so hard. Well,
it'll come soon. Like, soon we'll be talking about all, like, how everything's gonna play out is one of those things we're gonna talk about as time goes on. But right now we're kind of just focusing on showing off what we got here on the floor packs. We showed something behind closed doors. We just put the video up yesterday, footage of the swamp areas in Umaray, showing off a new power, the kinetic pulse, where you can pick up objects from a traffic cone to a car, just chuck them at people. And then a new enemy, the Ravager, a mini-boss, in the same vein as the swamp creatures that you see in the demo back here. So that's the stuff we're focusing on now. Everything else we're going to get to in very due time.
All right, now I see that there's a lot of different enemies in this game. So, like, what was the inspiration on changing the enemies? Because, like, I mean, the first game you had, like, the, you know, the Red Hoods and everybody's coming out. But looking at these guys, they're like, whoa. I mean, you got these big blades and arms and stuff. It's real different from part one. So, like, what's going on with these enemies? Is there, like a different type of boss we're going to see later on that's, like, influencing the type of enemies we're fighting against? What's up?
Well, interesting question. I think the one thing we have covered on this is we've talked about how the Corrupted, which are all the swamp creatures, something's happened in the Umaray swamp to cause these creatures to spawn. And one of the things Cole's going to have to tackle in Umaray is what's going on with all of this. And the flip side of it, this guy Bertrand, who's being shown in the demo here, the demo we got on the floor, he's obviously got something against Cole. Cole's trying to track him down for something. We're kind of teasing you with these bits of the story. We're not giving everything away on that just yet. I mean, again, we're just sticking to the high level. He came to Umaray for a reason. Something's going on with these Corrupted that he's trying to look into, and this guy Bertrand's got a mat on against Cole. So those three things, those are the bits we're giving you to tease. We'll play fill in the blanks as we go.
All right, no problem. Now, PlayStation Plus, I know it's fairly new, and it's a great subscription service, at least to me. I love that. Like, you get so many free things just by signing up. Now, game trials is one of the new things that Sony is really testing. When this game is released, will we see, like, a game trial released the same day as the game? Because it'll be real cool if people that can't afford for the day one could at least play it for an hour, you know, get a trophy and things like that to experience it, and that will probably entice them to get the game that much faster once they experience it. Like, are you guys doing a deal with Sony to be able to release like the game trial day and date with the actual game?
So interesting point. Infamous 1. We do support PlayStation Plus with Infamous 1. It was one of the launch titles on it for the game trial. Yeah. So I think it's something we're very much going to look at going into Infamous 2. We're going to look at. We're not guaranteeing. We're not confirming. We're not doing any of that. But would we look at it? Of course we would. I mean, I think it's one of those things that makes a lot of sense. You raise a lot of good points. Yeah. Nothing we can confirm or deny. I mean, that's something we're going to wait till we release the game and then make that decision. But we did support it on Infamous 1. So people, to those of you that have PlayStation Plus. Yeah. Go get it on Infamous 1, go grab the download. It's a little bit of a large download, but it's worthwhile.
But it's worth it. Yeah. Now, I want to say thank you so much to my girl Ant from the Tester. She's holding the camera. She's beautiful, and I know her arm's getting tired, so I'm going to hurry up, all right? Now, what I want to say to you is, like, first of all, congratulations. Like, honestly, congratulations on, like, a job more than well done. The game looks, like, phenomenal. Now, like, a few more questions, and then I'm going to let you go. What I was thinking about is, like, Infamous 2, even if it's not multiplayer, but I think it'd be a cool, like, component if you guys, like, added PlayStation Home into, like, some sort of, like, way to get extra powers or something like that, some sort of incentive of going in the home that will unlock something in the game. I think that right there will be great, and it's starting to become a standard with a lot of other games. So is that something in the plans too? Because I know there's already a Infamous, like, home space, so to speak, in PlayStation Home already. So will that be continued with Infamous 2?
I think we'll look at PlayStation Home support as it goes along. I mean, will we support it? Most likely, yes. How are we going to support it? Not something we're going to cover right now.
All right, cool. Well, I mean, let me throw out an idea. Like, I'm going to throw out an idea. All right. It'll be real dope is, like, if your avatar is in PlayStation Home, right, and let's say there's like an electric, like, board or some sort of electric, like, puzzle or something like that, and the more you do the puzzle, it will, you know, unlock points or experience points that you can use in the actual Infamous 2 game to get certain moves faster or something like that. I think it'll be a great incentive, you know, putting PlayStation Home together with the game. So that was just an idea of mine. You can steal it, you can use it. That's why I said it and stuff like that. So that'll be good. Now, in terms of the story, like, around how long do you think a playthrough would be with Infamous 2? Because Infamous 1 was fairly decent, like, in terms of length. So will Infamous 2 be a longer story?
That's something I can talk about.
He's killing me, man.
I know. We still got a ways to go here, so I got to save stuff for later to talk about. But it's not something we're talking about. I mean, but it's going to be a big game. We're not looking to make a small game with this. We're looking to make a blockbuster. So I mean.
Okay. Well, the last question I got is, in terms of working on the PS3, the cell processor, Blu-ray, all of the components, what have you guys learned about the PS3 with this title, and how much further do you see the PS3 going with future titles that Sucker Punch does?
Well, I think the kind of proofs in the demos we have up. Sucker Punch learned a lot with working with the PS3, taking advantage of all the power out of it. You know, much like the other elite teams, like your Naughty Dogs, Insomniacs, everything else. Yeah. I think the proof's in the demo here. You got more interactivity, you got more destruction, you got higher production values. Just everything across the board's been brought up a notch. And it's one of those, you can keep building on it as you go.
All right, well, look, I'm looking forward to the game. The game is great. Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, and this is real talk, from a graphical standpoint, seriously, like, Uncharted 2 is one of those big titles, like in the game, God of War 3 or whatever. Infamous 2 is in that same league, if not better in some areas of the game, simply because it's open world and there's more destruction. So when you see Infamous 2, when the demo come out or whatever they decide, you're going to lose your mind. You'll look at your wallet and be like, yo, here, great, just take my money. Like, that's what's going to happen because the game is really that flawless. So, one love and God bless. It's your boy, Hip Hop Gamer Show.com. Peace.